There's a thunderstorm going on at the moment. It's super dark. I don't even have to have the blind shut today. It looks beautiful. And we're going to read stuff that's infuriating. Am I the a-hole for calling off my wedding after my fiance bought a house with his mum? Okay, so me 28 female and my fiance 30 male have been together for 5 years. We were planning our wedding for this fall and had been talking for years about our future, like kids and finances and buying a house together. We had a whole plan to save up and then find something we both loved and make it our home. It was talked about a lot. Well, turns out that he already bought a house, but not with me, with his mum. And he didn't even tell me that he was looking. Apparently she found the perfect place and convinced him to split it with her because she didn't want to rent anymore. So now instead of us planning our future together, he's financially tied to his mother, who's going to be living there full time. I just stared at him like, what the f***? And when I asked where I fit into all of this, he goes, oh, well, you can move in too, of course. Like I'm supposed to be thrilled to live in a house that his mum picked out, partially owns, and is just there all the time. He also admitted that he did it because I was taking too long to save, and his mum offered him a faster way to own something. Wow, and didn't even talk to you about it first. I was so shocked and pissed. I told him that I needed space. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized I can't marry somebody who thinks this is normal. So I called off the wedding. And now his whole family's blowing up my phone saying that I'm being dramatic, that it's just a house and that I'm overreacting because we can still live together. Even my own parents are saying cancelling the whole wedding is extreme. Not if you know that you can't marry him, it's not. Like, am I losing my mind? Am I the a-hole or is this a giant red flag? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. I wouldn't want to marry him either. He didn't even speak to you about any of this. And cancelling the whole wedding is not extreme if you don't want to marry him. Like, what are you meant to do, marry him anyway? Hell no, like the top comment says. Not the a-hole. He didn't tell you, he didn't include you, and he just expects you to live with his mum? You're an afterthought. Yeah, 100%. The second top comment says he didn't just buy a house. He built a whole future with his mummy and left you out of it. That's not a mistake. It's a conscious decision to prioritize her over you. And the fact that he thought you'd just move in like a guest in a home that his mother controls? Disrespectful as hell. This isn't just a red flag. It's a parade of them. If you marry him, you're not getting a husband. You're signing up to be the third wheel in his codependent mummy-son fantasy. He's already made his choice and it wasn't you. So do yourself a favor and pack your bags and block his family and go find a man who actually sees you as his future, not a tenant in mummy's house. You could not agree more. This comment says, not the a-hole. Walk away. He's not ready to be an adult. Yeah, and also OP's 28 and he's 30. OP doesn't need to be dealing with this sort of stuff. Like all the comments are saying, OP needs to find somebody who's going to prioritize them and a future with them, not with their mum. And they did it because his mum didn't want to rent anymore. So yeah, financially tied to his mum, who's going to be living there all the time. And what, he's just going to live with his mum all the time and expects his partner to want to live with his mum all the time too, without even having a conversation about this to OP? That is unbelievable. Like, surprise. It's raining so heavy and there's some water in like the crack of the door over here, and Nez is dipping her hand in it and like drinking it. Do you want to say hi to everybody, Nez? I think she does. I have secured the goose. Here she is. Hello, Neddy. I only get like 2 seconds, but they're a good 2 seconds. But yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. It's not just about the wedding. It's about the life that you're going to live with him. If he puts his mother first with everything, or makes important decisions like this without you, it'll cause a lot of conflict. And it's not just a house. Him buying a house with her means that he won't be able to buy one with his wife for quite some time. Yeah, for him to completely throw away the plans that he had with OP, without even discussing it with OP first. Like, okay, he's bought a house with his mum now, and he's going to live with his mum without discussing it with OP, but what's he going to do, like buy another house with OP? That's probably never going to happen now, and if it does happen, it would be ages away. The power has already gone out 3 times, and I'm not even past the first post yet. But yeah, like this comment says, OP, tell your ex to marry his mum. There's no room for you. They don't want you there. Not the a-hole. The next one says, am I the a-hole for telling my sister not to announce her pregnancy at my wedding because I was going to announce mine, but she did it anyway. I, 29 female, got married 3 months ago to my amazing husband, 31 male. It was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, but my sister, 32 female, was able to overshadow it in a way that I can't seem to move past. A little background, my husband and I had been trying for a baby for a while, and when we finally got that positive test, we were over the moon. We decided that we'd share the news with our family and friends at our wedding reception. Nothing crazy, just a small heartfelt moment during the speeches. Only my parents and my maid of honor knew about this plan. A few weeks before the wedding, my sister pulled me aside to tell me that she was pregnant. I was genuinely happy for her and we had a sweet moment together. Then she casually mentioned that she was planning to announce it at my wedding. I was shocked and I told her as kindly as I could that I would prefer that she didn't. I even explained why, because I was also pregnant and I was planning to share the news that day. I asked her, could she wait a little bit longer so the day could still be focused on the wedding? She seemed a bit annoyed but didn't argue much, so I thought that was the end of it. Well, fast forward to the reception and guess what? Right after the speeches, she stands up, clinks her drink, and announces her pregnancy. Everybody erupts into cheers and suddenly my wedding turns into her pregnancy celebration and I was stunned. I didn't even get the chance to share my own news because it felt like I'd just be trying to one-up her. And then later when I confronted her, she acted like I was overreacting and said that she just couldn't keep it in anymore. When I told her how hurt I was, she said that I was selfish for wanting to control when people shared their happiness. Oh God. My parents think that she was out of line but are telling me to let it go for the sake of family peace. Why would you want family peace with this a-hole? But I can't seem to move on. Yeah, of course, OP. Every time I think about my wedding, I feel this bitter pit in my stomach because she took away a moment that was so special for me. She, on the other hand, thinks that I'm being dramatic and says that I should be happy for her instead of making everything about myself. So, am I the gay hole for not letting this go? No, like the top comment says. Mate, your sister's a bit of a isn't she? Yeah, and the comment below that, not the gay hole, you can keep the peace, but you could also consider announcing your baby's gender at her baby shower. She has shown you who she is. I would not include her in any large life movements. Yeah, the sister absolutely sucks. Oh, you should do it to keep the family peace. Why? It's not peace. Like all the parents are saying when they say keep the family peace is let her get away with it. Just to let it go. Let her walk all over you. The comment below that one says the wedding day belongs to the bride and the groom. No one else. What she did was hijack your day for her own purpose, despite being told not to. This is unforgivable, not the a-hole. And the one above that says, whatever you do, do not share your baby name with your sister. I've seen too many posts of jealous sisters stealing baby names, and she seems enough to do it. Yeah, if the sister has the audacity to do stuff like this, then you can guarantee that this is the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure there's all sorts of other stuff. This comment says, not the a-hole. Your sister was completely out of line. Your wedding was your day and she knew that you had a special announcement planned. Instead of respecting your wishes, she chose to steal the spotlight, which was selfish and inconsiderate. Yeah, but the sister is calling OP selfish. That's hilarious. The next one says, am I the gay hole for kicking my friend out of my apartment after how they treated my cat? I have a cat who's my baby. Me too. She's super friendly but a little skittish, and I always remind guests to be gentle with her. A friend of mine came over the other night, and while we were hanging out, my cat jumped onto the couch near them. Out of nowhere, my friend shoved her off the couch, an actual shove that made her hit the floor really hard. Pay with your blood. No mistreating people's pets. My cat ran and hid under my bed and I lost it. Yeah, good. I asked them, what the hell was that? And they just laughed and said, relax, it's just a cat. Oh, get out. Get the hell out. I told them to get out immediately. They acted like I was overreacting, saying they didn't mean to hurt her and that it wasn't a big deal. But my cat was terrified, and I don't care if it was intentional or not. That kind of reaction to an innocent animal is not okay with me. Now they're telling our mutual friends that I threw them out over nothing, but the response hasn't been what they expected. Most people are on my side, saying that that was way out of line, and a couple even admitted that they never liked how this friend treated animals. Still, a few think that I was too harsh and I should have just given a warning instead of kicking them out immediately. Am I the a-hole? No, definitely not. Yeah, like this comment says, nope. If that's how they treat your cat when you're right there, what would they be like when you're not around? Yeah, and the comment below that, not the a-hole. If somebody hurt my cat on purpose, they would be gone and they'd never be welcome back in my home again. Yeah, end of story. Sorry, don't want people around who are like that, okay? The comment below that one says, not the a-hole. I would have reacted the exact same. And the comment below that one says, not the a-hole. And any of your friends who think that was okay. Enabling a psycho isn't cute. I'd cut ties. Yeah, so they said a few think that I was too harsh and I should have given a warning instead of kicking them out immediately. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. You don't mistreat other people's pets and then be like, oh, it's just a cat. And if you do mistreat somebody's pets, expect to be kicked out. No, I don't feel like OP was too harsh either. And also the bit where it says, and a couple of friends even admitted that they never liked how this friend treated animals. So this is not a single incident. The friends even said that they don't like how this person treats animals. And like OP said, most of my friends are on my side. Yeah, doing stuff like this is not only a red flag, but it's straight up not okay. And also, I don't like their reaction where they said, relax, it's just a cat. Hey, it's not just a cat, and I'm not gonna relax. That's a super red flag thing to say. Oh, relax, it's just a cat. Off with your head. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Oh, yeah, that one makes me sad. Cats are pretty calculated in their movements. Like, they can definitely be clumsy. Chia was so clumsy. Like, she would jump between something and she'd misjudge it, and sometimes she'd fall in very ungraceful ways. But like, for the most part, cats don't really land on the ground super hard very often. And also, I'm getting the feeling that they meant like they didn't land on their feet, which really goes to show how hard this person pushed their cat. And also the fact that the cat was terrified after and ran away. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Keep this person away from you and your cat. The next one says, am I the a-hole for cancelling our wedding after our rehearsal dinner was ruined by her mum and her family? My male 39 ex-fiance, Kelly female 40, and I were together for 3 years. We were both divorced and have children from our previous relationships. I had kids with my ex-wife and Kelly got married really young and divorced after 10 years, then met a guy and got pregnant within weeks, and they tried to work things out but they couldn't. We did have our challenges, but we were always able to pull through. We were both working class, so when I proposed we agreed to either have a very small wedding or hold a larger event later because I'd need to save up. She doesn't have a job and I'd need to save up for over a year. We skipped the big wedding and agreed on a ceremony and a reception at her family's home where her aunts live. Kelly and I planned for a very simple wedding to take place in the space in her family's backyard and the garage. Because I was paying for almost everything, they offered to let us use the space as our venue at no cost, so I purchased the alcohol with exception to a few cases of beer, and I paid for the rental chairs and the tables. My groomsmen chipped in with a few things while I noticed that her family was very laid back. Don't get me wrong, it was my wedding and our responsibility, but I noticed that she slowly began listening to them and wanted a few things that were not in our budget. So she wanted a floral arch, and I was able to get one. Her mum began pushing for more stuff to accommodate her family's ideas. We agreed on a bakery cake and mother-in-law twisted her lips in disapproval. Those things felt annoying but manageable. Fast forward and her big brother Justin, male 47, got depressed because he got dumped. The official story is that his wealthy ex-girlfriend decided to dump him and treated him bad. I regretted letting him stay with us after I learned that he cheated on his ex. This bothered me a lot since his ex helped him out in many ways and did lots of things for his kids. Zero trust after that. Kelly and her siblings think that he's God because he took over the paternal role when her parents got divorced. They give him way too much credit. The guy can't hold a job, can't even guide his children right, and does lots of entertainment parenting but doesn't teach them any responsibility. I can't stand him and Kelly knows it. He can talk about his life during his 20s for a whole day, and it's always about how women chased him, how an ex-girlfriend tried to unalive herself, how women had catfights over him. I had to confront him about these weird stories to make him shut up. And as the wedding approached, it became even more difficult to get Kelly's attention in our relationship. She started taking him on drives to check on his ex. I objected to this. Then he would constantly interrupt us to bring up updates on his ex. He only wanted to apply to online jobs and ended up trying to enroll me in something that didn't look serious at all. I asked her to make him leave, but she got very angry and stopped talking to me. Kelly and I had a huge argument that I'm sure he overheard. I went to take a shower, and when I came out of the bathroom, I overheard him telling her that he didn't expect me to understand him because I'm too simple. I can't remember his exact words, and said that he doesn't expect to insert my job to understand his life. I immediately confronted him, and not only did she deny everything I heard, but she basically took his side. I kicked him out and I drove him to mother-in-law's with all his stuff. That was 4 months ago, and her family never treated me the same. We had our rehearsal dinner, which was supposed to be a very small gathering. My kids and her kids were present, as well as my parents and maybe 10 other people on my side. Her family kept on showing up. I know that her family cooked for the occasion, aside from other things that we provided. But the point is that I was restricted from bringing people, while her side of the list kept on growing and showing up. The worst part is that her mother got drunk, my family are very low-key and a bit shy, and mother-in-law's a belligerent drunk and started to act vulgar. I took her comments about me and Justin in stride just to keep the peace, but my family felt uncomfortable and I knew that she was trying to insult insult me. I pulled Kelly aside about 4 times to ask her to control her mother. To her credit, she tried to get her mum to sit down. Her family, older aunt and 2 cousins, also got drunk and got pretty loud. By the time that we were supposed to show some pictures on the monitor, nobody was even paying attention. And Justin was telling jokes and acting like the event was about him. The chairs had been pulled away from the tables and the burgers and the hot dogs intended for the kids were missing. I asked my parents to take my kids home, and after raging inside for the whole night, I decided to ask my friends to help me load all of the alcohol and stuff that I'd contributed that were physically kept at her family's home into our cars. Everybody went quiet after that. It was a complete show. Kelly started crying and promised that her family would apologize. I didn't want to talk because her family used our rehearsal to party on my dime. I went to stay with a friend. From all of this, what hurts the most is that hers and my kids had to see the drunken spectacle, and my parents had to see me in an embarrassing situation. Kelly and I talked. She was eager to fix things, but while I still love her, I don't see myself repeating the experience. I knew her family wasn't perfect, and of course mine isn't either, but I had very little support from her. She says that her family were just being a big family, talking amongst themselves and being loud, and that while she understood that I was offended, I caused a scene and she didn't disown me. I haven't been able to sleep because I feel empty and alone. It took a lot from me, but I decided that we should cancel the wedding. I never want to see her mum or her brother again, and I'll never ask her to cut them off because despite everything, it's not fair and she will hate me. Also, she would never do it, and the fact that my parents said that they would support whatever I decided, but would prefer not to attend my wedding but would go anyway because they wouldn't do that to me, that really stung. So my family was ignored and I was treated poorly, and I'm supposed to act like nothing happened. Kelly didn't take the cancellation very well, but I can't do this. I said I'll pay the remaining portion of the lease to avoid getting her and her kids kicked out, but our relationship's over. I already removed my things to avoid dragging a painful breakup. I know that I'll never go back, but her words about not disowning me hurt me because despite feeling that I'm on the right, I feel like I failed her somehow. Like she feels that I gave up and that she feels my walking out was far worse. Am I the a-hole? The top comment says, holy hell, you really dodged a bullet. Please tell us that you know this. You were nothing but an ATM to her. As soon as you ended that, she and her family freaked out. I know it may not feel like it right now, but you will be so glad that this breakup happened in a few months. I wish you peace. And OP said thanks. And the second top comment says, we are both working class. She doesn't have a job. Red flag, not the a-hole. And the comment below that one says, not the a-hole, this was how the rest of your life was going to be. She was never going to take your side. You would have never been her priority. You would be supporting her and whatever relative that she allowed to live with you. You dodged a real bullet here. Don't feel bad at all. And the comment below that one says, bullet dodged. Don't fall for the incoming love bomb. Ignore and block all the flying monkeys. Yeah, that's so wild. This comment says, dodge the proverbial bullet. It sounds like the red flags were coming fast and furious. Good luck, mate. And the one below that says, not the a-hole. You are so wise not to marry into this disaster. The issue isn't so much her family as the fact that she won't stand up for you with her family. That's the biggest problem. You can't trust her. And the one below that says, the moment her family started putting in their 2 cents without offering so much as 2 cents, I would have told them to butt out or pay up. You caught a whole family of hobosexuals, bro. Run. The next one says, am I the a-hole for not giving my brother money for rent after my mum shamed me for prioritizing my own family? I, 28 female, have 2 kids, 3 and 7, and a husband, 30 male. We're doing our best to stay on top of things financially, but it's hard. We both work full time and we're saving for the future and paying off debt, just trying to make sure that our kids have everything they need. The last couple of years have been a struggle, but we're getting there. A few hours ago, my brother mid-20s called me and he asked me to lend him $4.5 grand for his rent because he's behind on payments. He's been struggling financially for a while now because of poor spending habits, and now he's in danger of being evicted. He said that his life would fall apart if I didn't help. I told him that I couldn't. We're not in a position to throw around that kind of money, especially since I've got my own family to take care of. Plus, he's been asking for help like this for years, and I just don't think it's right to keep bailing him out. Later, my mum called me and really laid into me. She said that I was being selfish and that family comes first. She told me that I could always rebuild my savings later and that I should help my brother because he's in a crisis. She even said, don't you want to show your kids what family is supposed to be? That's the kind of example you should be setting. She accused me of choosing my own family over him and said that I needed to grow up and be there for your brother when he needs you. Now she doesn't speak to me but is telling other relatives that I'm heartless and unsupportive. Oh, the audacity. They're calling me, telling me that she's calling around and saying stuff like that. My husband's fully on my side, but I feel like I'm being torn apart by the guilt from my mum and my brother. Also, I'm sorry if this is long. I just don't know. I wanted to vent. Yeah, right. So you have to hand over $4.5 grand, but your mum doesn't? The top comment comment says you're taking care of your own family, which is your priority. You've helped your brother before, and it's unreasonable for him to keep on asking for large sums of money when he's not making the efforts to change his financial habits. Your mum's guilt trip is unfair, and you should not feel pressured into jeopardizing your family's well-being. It's important to set boundaries, and you made the right call by saying no. Yeah, and the mum having the gall to give OP the silent treatment, going around to the relatives saying that OP is heartless and unsupportive. Where does your mum get off? The comment below that one says, tell your mum to fork over the $4,500 if she really feels so strongly about helping family. Ask her what her grandkids are going to think of her if she lets her son go homeless. Yeah, the guilt tripping's terrible. How dare OP's mum, for real. The comment below that one says, your husband and your kids are your family. Your brother needs to get his shit together, and your mum needs to back the hell off and stop treating your brother like he's God's gift to man, and let him fail and figure himself out. Yeah, and stop putting all the responsibility onto OP. Oh, OP has to fork out the $4,500 that the brother wants. No, they don't. Yeah, and like that comment said, your husband and your kids are your family, and you're doing the right thing by prioritizing them. Oh, that one's infuriating. Jin has come over to me now. He's so beautiful. Jin, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? He's such a beautiful little fella. Hello, Jin, so fluffy. Oh, hello, father. What a cool guy. Okay, the next one says, am I the gay hole for telling my boss that I wasn't invited to the party? I, 26 female, just started at a new job. I realized pretty fast that one of my colleagues, Marie, is engaged and getting married within the next 2 months. It seemed like the whole office was attending the wedding. I absolutely did not expect an invite. She just met me. Weddings are planned in advance and venues are booked in advance. My friend actually just got married, so I saw firsthand how it all worked. I could tell Marie wondered if I was expecting an invitation and was hesitant to bring up the wedding around me, but I never made it a big deal. I don't feel left out in the slightest. Then I got CC'd on an email from somebody from the office, Joan, throwing Marie a shower during our lunch hour in the break room in a couple of weeks. Joan was sending out a collection so that we could give a group gift, in brackets cash, to Marie. They also suggested that we make it a potluck. Joan included her Venmo and asked that we email back with what we planned on bringing. Even if I'm not going to the wedding, I still believe that everybody deserves to be celebrated, and I Venmoed the $20 as well as sent a reply saying that I'd bring lasagna. A little bit later, I saw the $20 had been returned to my Venmo, and Joan approached my desk. She said that I didn't need to contribute. I said even if I'm not attending the wedding, I'd still like to give Marie a little something. Joan looked a little awkward and hemmed and hawed, but then eventually said, "You're not invited to the shower." I was confused. I said I can't go in the company break room on lunch hour. She said yes. I asked, where am I supposed to go? I don't drive, I take public transport to and from work. We don't really work near anywhere that I could go to quickly for our lunch hour. She said that I could stay at my desk. I pointed out that this was a little exclusionary. Joan said that Marie didn't want me to assume that I was invited to the wedding. I said that I don't at all. I completely understand that I haven't worked here long and we're not close enough. I'm not hurt by that. She said that's great, but I still can't come. I asked if I'd done anything to offend Marie and she said no. She just doesn't want me getting my hopes up. I finally let it go and just said fine, have a good party. The day of the shower, I sat at my desk during the party while everybody else went, eating my lunch alone. One kind person snuck me a piece of cake. Halfway into the party, the big boss came in. She usually doesn't work on Friday, so it was a surprise to see her. She saw me sitting at my desk and asked me why I wasn't at the party. I told her that I hadn't been invited. She was clearly perturbed by this. Later on, she sent an email out banning parties of any kind during work hours. A few people, Joan and Marie included, realised that I'm the one who told, and they've now turned on me. Some friends say that I'm in the wrong here and that I should have lied to the big boss and said that I was busy with work to finish or something, as to not ruin it for everybody else. Am I the a-hole? Oh my god, I'm so happy that I work for myself. Stuff like this sounds awful. The top comment says, not the a-hole. They use company resources and excluded somebody in the company. That's against HR policy, I'm sure. And they didn't not invite you. They deliberately blocked you from going. And they told you to stay at your desk. They deserve what they got. Time to grey rock them. Sorry, boss asked me a direct question and I assumed that you were going to tell her the truth, so I wasn't going to lie and possibly get in trouble. Marie and Joan are mean girls, period. Document any retaliation ASAP. Yeah, I'm sorry that you're around these people, OP. The comment below that one says, not the a-hole. They're the ones who f***ed around and did an exclusionary thing. You didn't tattle on them to the big boss. The boss asked you why you were sitting at your desk and weren't at the party, and you explained. All Marie had to do was be a gracious person and include you in the office gathering. You were fine with a $20 contribution and lasagna. And she didn't have to be weird about you not going to the wedding. Joan and Marie are the a-holes here. Yeah, giant a-holes. Yeah, and like this comment says, why were you CC'd on that email for Venmo payment asking for what are you gonna bring if you weren't even invited. That's enraging. The comment below that one says, tell HR the truth. You were sent the email inviting you, but when you put money in for the gift and offered to bring lasagna, you were told by Joan that you weren't wanted. It's not that you were not invited. You were told not to go in the break room that day. Let HR deal with it. You tried to be nice and they turned mean. Yes, so mean. And OP didn't do anything. OP wasn't upset about not being invited to the wedding because like OP said, they barely know each other. They weren't upset about that. And even still, they said, I still believe everybody deserves to be celebrated. And they Venmoed $20 and sent a reply saying that they'd bring lasagna. Oh, these co-workers are terrible. This sort of behavior is so gross. They're creating an awful work environment for you, OP. Oh, that one's so aggravating. The next one says, am I the a-hole for doing my partner's taxes so that his sister-in-law can't do them and then utilize him to build her furniture in return? Wow, such a specific title. That's such a funny title. I'm very intrigued. My partner usually has his sister-in-law do his taxes. He has a fairly simple return. I think he doesn't realize it's just inputting the numbers. Anyway, his sister-in-law's pregnant and said that she'd do the taxes if he helps them out with building and hauling furniture for the nursery. Here's the kicker and why I went ahead and squashed this deal and did his tax return myself. I just had a baby and my partner and I received zero help with our nursery from them. Heck, his brother wouldn't even come 5 minutes down the road to hold a door while my partner installed it. This especially annoyed me as my partner's always doing favors for them since he has a truck. Since we have a new baby, I don't want them thinking that my partner's going to take time away from his own child to prepare for theirs, especially since my partner works a ton of overtime and has a demanding job and he's never home as it is. I'm extremely excited for them, but I'd like them to stop seeing my partner as a free truck rental or laborer just because he's super handy. I feel like the a-hole because I know how daunting building furniture can be, but we managed. Also, this is an extremely simple tax return. One income, one state, and common deductions. I don't know why she fed it into his head that this is some complex work that she's doing. It took me 1 hour, and that's because I check and double check and recheck. I must add that I'm not trying to make a pregnant lady's life any harder. As I was just pregnant myself, I'm 2 months postpartum writing this, but he simply does not have the time to do this work for them. We struggled a lot to get our own nursery done. Yeah, like the top comment says, not the a-hole. So we all have family members that believe in family helps family as long as they never help anybody and everybody helps them. Yeah, that's so frustrating. The second top comment says, not the a-hole. Teach him the word no. Remind him that he has his own family that needs him, that they're 2 grown adults and they can figure it out. She's going to be dumping her kid on y'all to babysit, then she won't have time to watch yours in return. He needs to practice saying no. And the comment below that one says, you did good, but tell your partner to stop agreeing to help every time. And the comment below that one says, if you want to be petty, tell the sister-in-law that you're returning the favor when you tell her you did his taxes. But yeah, like the top comment said, the family that believes in family helps family as long as they never help anybody and everybody helps them. Yeah, that's so annoying. Definitely a not the a-hole consensus here, but your partner needs to say no to them. And that's enough for today. We need to read something wholesome. That was such a fun episode and I hope you guys had a great time today. When you fall on laughing with somebody and you both keep on adding things which make it funnier and you can barely breathe. Yeah, that's so fun when that happens. And you don't even remember why you started laughing, but everything becomes so funny. Yeah, I love when that happens. I liked having the blinds open. I wish I could have them open in every episode. It's just too bright for the camera when it's a sunny day. But yeah, this was nice today. The comment of the day today goes to Link's cat, me. Nez is adorable. Nez, unhand me father. Yeah, she's so adorable, isn't she? I can't wait until I have the cat bed next to me. That might arrive by the next episode that you guys see, but if it's not the next episode, I feel like it should definitely be the episode after that. And then yeah, Nez or Jin will be right next to me for the entire episode. Thank you for the comment, Link's cat, and thank you for the support. And I'll see you legends in the next episode. Make sure you look after yourself, everybody, and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!